Hello and welcome to all you Taurians. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for June 2014. For June, well, for some, last month it was all about your ruler, Venus, and now it's all about Mercury. The month of June is highlighted is highlighting the planet of Mercury. And what does it mean for a Taurian when Mercury goes retrograde in their third house and second house? Well, for most of the month it will be your second house. Well, let's have a look. First of all, Mercury retrogrades are there to learn us something about standing still and reviewing something, a particular area of our life. And what that area is, I will talk in a minute. And it's certainly not there to annoy us. And certainly when it is in its own sign, which is happening now, Mercury in Gemini is very strong because the planet is in its own sign. It will have good consequences if you understand why these things are slowing down for you. Now the slowing down means that people need to stand still and think about those areas to improve those areas. So it's not only a slowing down, but it can at the same time demand a lot of energy for us and a lot of focus and a lot of intensity. So as I said, for you it's the second house and the third house. So let's have a look at it. First of all, when the month starts, it's in Cancer, which is a water sign and which is nice for you. It's in your third house. So Mercury will go around the beginning of the month. It's at 1 degree of Cancer, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, and at that point of 3 degrees it stands still and it goes backwards again. Well, not really, but it's how we perceive it. And it goes back into the second house of Gemini, where it will be for the rest of the month. It only goes direct again next month. So this means the following, that you will have a sneak preview the first couple of days of the month before on the 8th of the month that Mercury goes backwards. And the sneak preview means the meaning of the Mercury retrograde. And the meaning for you has to do with third house issues. So it has to do with communicating. It has to do for you to communicate in a better way, in a stronger way, in a more confident way. And if you're already doing that, well, it's even to improve that even more for the future, so that you understand yourself better, but also that other people understand what you are talking about. The third house in very general is about communication and is about understanding the world on a very mundane day-to-day basis. Also the gathering of the information. So this is the goal for the Taurians. The hard work will be done during this month, the month of June, during the work in the second house, which I'll explain in a minute. But the goal is to become stronger with your words, to become stronger with your thoughts, and to become clearer about what you think. That sometimes, you know, we all have those moments, don't we? That are thinking, what the hell are we thinking? So you become more objective and then life becomes easier. So so in order for that to gain more improvement there, which will happen around the month of July, work needs to be done in the second house, because Mercury goes retrograde in that second house for a big deal of the month. What does it mean, the second house? For Taurus, it's actually your house. It's the house of Taurus. So therefore, I think this is not going to be a bad Mercury retrograde for the Taurians. Of course, this is not an individual reading. This is a general reading. But because it's in your house, it's in your environment, it's in the Taurian house, you could say, although it's in Gemini. I mean, the second house is associated with Taurus, and therefore it's also in its own sign, this Mercury. I think you can do quite well there. And what is the work all about? It can be about two different main levels, or it has to do with your financial situation, or it has to do with your confidence and your talents. It can be both, it can be one or the other. So let's start with the financial situation. It is a very good time for Taurians to sort that out and to think about how they can change their financial situation when it's not what they want. In other words, to improve their financial situation, because Mercury is a thinking planet. So you're kind of slowing down when it comes to the processes of my financial resources. Am I spending more than I'm receiving money? How can I change that? So all these kind of questions can come up and are good to think about, and then later on put your actions to words. Because first of all, you need to have the ideas. You need to have how you are going to sort it out in your mind before you can put it into action. And so you can maybe you can change direction when it comes to how you deal with your finances. Maybe focus more on it, and because it needs more focus. On another level, it can have to do with your confidence and working harder on that. Now, we all know with gaining confidence is a very slow process, but losing it is very fastly. Very fastly, people can lose their confidence because someone says something to you or something happens, but it's very slowly that one can build up their confidence. Well, now for you, Taurians, it's a time to build that up. And how can you do that? Well, it's a day-to-day process, of course, but it also has to do with what you think you're worth. And of course, it has to do with self-love, but I think it's more than just standing in the mirror and say, hey, I love you. I think it's on a day-to-day level with very little things, like working on your talents, for instance. If you're not content with the work that you do, or you think you earn too little money, then maybe you can work on your talents and therefore make a promotion or change a job, or if you do your own business, higher up the prices, because maybe you're thinking too low of yourself. So it's a lot about thinking and less about doing. The doing comes after the thinking. So all of these things are highlighted for the Taurians, and I think that you can do very, very well with working there on that specific area in order for you to become stronger in your own power when it comes to you communicating to others, because that's the result. Remember, the Mercury going in the 3rd house again next month, and that's when you will start seeing the results of those efforts that you've done just in the 2nd house, what I just talked about. So I think that will be the emphasis for the Taurians. And don't we all want to be good communicators? Don't we all want to understand ourselves, and therefore other people understand us? That makes us, it's all a happier life, doesn't it? Whether it is relationships, but also work. If people don't understand us, we get into trouble. And mostly it is because we don't understand ourselves, or things need to be revisited, and we have to restructure that a little bit. So at the same time, this 3 degrees of Cancer, which is such a significant point because it goes backwards then, there is also a new moon on that point. There is at the end of the month, around the 27th, a new moon on 5 degrees of Cancer. So again, new moon is all about beginnings. So there is a new beginning emphasized here for you at the end of the month when it comes to that 3rd house, when it comes to understanding the world that is close to you, understanding yourself, expressing yourself in a good way, in a very natural but also very assertive way, not too much, not too little. Being heard and all of that. And there is also on 3 degrees of Cancer a fixed star called Propus, P-R-O-P-U-S, and this fixed star also has the influence of Mercury. So again, emphasize that this is all about ideas, and reasonable ideas and acceptable ideas, because there's nothing worse, isn't it, than having great ideas and not being able to make them real. So whatever it is that you're going to focus on, you have the ability now, or get the opportunity to change it in this world. because the third house is also very much a house of the environment, and it's also the house of siblings. So maybe you're going to, on that level, understand your siblings better in the future if you have siblings. So that's for June 2014. Thank you very much for getting in touch, and getting in touch. I'm a bit distracted by my brother waving at me, but thanks for watching this. If you want a reading, please do get in touch, and I wish you all the best with the Mercury retrograde for you Taurians. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.